Hi, my name is Don Castaneda, U.S. Marine veteran. Back again, wanted to show you a couple things. Here's the first thing. This is just a continuation of the first video. Just back to the Facebook issue. I mean, it's very important for people to know how Mark Zuckerberg makes his money. And I'm basically just speaking out against him and Facebook, and because basically he was a kid that dropped out of college. He doesn't have that full college education. He has advisors and counselors and a board that probably advises him on certain things he should do, policies, and maybe some security that he implements, but it's not as secure as it could be. This is his ad revenue in 1 year, $153.76 billion dollars in 2023. That's just in 1 year. So $153 billion dollars a year, pretty much. Project that Facebook advertising revenue will experience 13. That's the projection. But on average over here, like in 2023, 131 billion. Let's see, amounts to 50.57 $50 billion dollars in 2021, 56 billion in 2024, something like that, right? Just based on what he's been making it, I guess. Um, so he makes basically billions of dollars every year, and just from garbage that little videos or people twerking and shaking their, you know what, on Facebook and all these dumb videos, and that's where predators go. That's where predators go. Here, I just did another search here. Check this out. Are drugs sold on Facebook? And people don't care. I know it's America. The America is actually the number one drug consuming country in the world. People love it. American Gangster, Denzel Washington, all this stuff with drugs and whatever. Like, it's cool. Like people like Al Capone, Scarface, uh, you know. So it's all to each his own. Whatever your cup of tea is, whatever floats your boat. But in regards to like logical parents who care about the safety of their loved ones, of their family members who care about their siblings or brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, aunts and uncles or grandparents, and also family members who care about their kids and their nephews and nieces, and their grandkids. You want a safe environment. If all this trash and garbage is and all this shit is really happening on Facebook, obviously a lot of people they speak out against that. A lot of mothers I see on documentaries say that they wish there was stuff out there that just to monitor Facebook, and that's why I want to go back to this Bark app. This can monitor social media. I haven't used it, but it's supposed to monitor. Right here you can see Gmail, Instagram, Discord, Snapchat, probably Facebook. That's a big one, and it just monitors and alerts you of certain keywords. And for my site, I want to implement machine learning, artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, deep learning, using neural networks, using and and, and back to this about Facebook, about their revenue, right? He could easily use quantum computing, which is like supercomputing, right? Super advanced high speed processing computing to monitor his platform, which he just doesn't want to spend the money. I was talking to a friend just the other day, about why he doesn't flood Facebook with this parental control app for parents so they could be aware of stuff like this. Mark Zuckerberg, he's not that dumb. He'll speak in Congress. He'll say, "Oh yeah, the election and all this stuff. It wasn't that election. The whole what happened with the election with the Trump thing. And the Russians supposedly I guess flooding Facebook with propaganda or whatever. And he just it's a free platform, whatever. But it obviously can be used negatively, and he just tries to defend it because that's how he makes his money. He doesn't care. He wouldn't flood Facebook for free. He could do this for free. It's his app. But even if it costs him money, he won't do it because it doesn't make him money for one. So he doesn't care. Even if he could help people. Here's another thing. All the family members who have lost kids or family members to drugs being sold on Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg doesn't pay for the funerals. He doesn't care. He doesn't give the family money. I mean, I would compare him to Alex Jones, right? Alex Jones says all this trash about the families at the Sandy Hook shooting, but he finally got liquidated for like 1.5 billion just recently, just a few days ago, I believe. So and Mark Zuckerberg, these kids, a lot more kids have died on Facebook, likely, right? Probably hundreds or thousands. I'm just taking a estimated guess out there because so much stuff happens out there. But like you'll see, here's Meta role in illegal drugs sell on Facebook is probed by feds. The federal authorities have had to investigate Facebook and Meta because of all the stuff that happens. Meta's role in illegal drug sales on Facebook is under federal investigation. Uh, Alex started selling drugs on Facebook. People, and that's how they make their money. And I watched a documentary, and people will order on the dark web ounce of fentanyl, cut it, put it in drugs, sell it, and multiply that $400 ounce of fentanyl. They can make $100,000 from, and they use Facebook, Snapchat, and platforms. I could really get killed for speaking out on this kind of stuff, but other people say they're not scared. I know that if differences are made because of me, people will get mad. Let's say I said boycott the cartel, boycott the cartel. Everyone stop doing drugs. Just I guess do what you're supposed to, work, stay clean. You could drink cigarettes, whatever, but all that other stuff, you never know what you're getting. It could be laced with fentanyl, and you can't really trust the people you're with because they don't know where they got it from. They're just trying to get high. They're just trying to party, make money. They don't know what it's cut with. There's no regulations. You can't get cocaine or meth or heroin or whatever or pill and say look at the ingredients because it doesn't come with a list of ingredients. You're not gonna know. It's just in a little bag. It's unmarked, unlabeled. It could be anything. It could be cyanide. That's how some people do get poisoned with cyanide, or basically fentanyl or nitazines or trank, the zombie drug. People are losing their limbs. Um, so this is me speaking out on the information I've been studying and just learning about. And I believe that, it's not smart to use a platform like this when, I mean, there's not really too many other options unless you connect with your friends, if you're responsible, if you know better. But, a lot of times, like, uh, people out there, they will try to befriend you, send you all these messages, and then like you don't know it, but your kid will friend someone that has a friend, and there's just a friend that they don't even know who they are, but now they're in your network, and now they're sending you messages, and now they say, what's your number? Let's talk, right? And then you call them, and that's not really recorded, right? You can't really, unless your phone's tapped or whatever. But now that they got their phone number, they're talking to them, telling them where to go, where to drive, what to do. Then they meet up, and they either disappear, they get sold into a trafficking ring, they get kidnapped, abducted, or they just get sold drugs, and then they take a drug because they're feeling a certain way or they want to party, whatever, and then they just end up dead, blue, and just dead. So, and these are facts that it's obviously all over. The media tries to not say too. There's Texas documentaries. There's documentaries about it. It happens all over the United States, and that's a tragic, sad issue that needs to be fixed. And that's what I'm trying to do. Just make a safer environment. Social media is a big thing. There's other things you could do. Yeah, have more police, this and that, or just have more street soldiers or something like that, trying to make the neighborhood secure, keep your kids safe and this and that. But when they're naive, they don't know any better, and they're just trying to have fun because this is what this country's all about. America, just partying and freedom and stuff like that. People just don't know any better, and it's just like people just want to experiment, see what it's like, and then they just one time and it's over. So this is another app of my another blog of mine. So I talk about the nitazines and the fentanyl and the trank and the carfentanil, which is 100 times more potent than fentanyl. A tiny little amount, uh, a sliver on the tip of a pencil, or a grain of salt, just 1 grain of salt. That amount can kill pretty much an adult male human being. This is also, information from the DEA. I made some flashcards of fentanyl. You can check those out. There's a lot of resources and videos on the other drugs besides fentanyl, if you haven't heard of that. Nitazines, which can also kill you. Xylazine, which will make you have to get amputated. It'll make your limbs abscess and your legs and arms basically rot off, and they'll have to amputate, and it'll just be like there's one guy that got 3 limbs amputated that I learned about the other day from getting addicted to this xylazine stuff, trank. and there's carfentanil, which will definitely kill pretty much anyone on the planet. Just from a single dose, like a tiny little amount. So, cartels on social media, they're going to be out there. For me saying this kind of stuff, they're going to probably come and kill me. Hopefully, my family gets, life insurance or something. But, they just extort, they threat, they're persistent. They will go after your kids. They want to make their money. They don't care if they die. They'll just move on to the next victim. Mark Zuckerberg's not going to pay for the funeral. He's not going to send your family money. He's not going to add security. And also, so my app, my background, okay, my background is also cybersecurity. I'm not just a veteran. I've been to school for cybersecurity, and I can show some credentials later. But what I understand is Mark Zuckerberg probably doesn't have the education that I have, and he's not implementing the security that he could be, right? Artificial intelligence, machine learning, neural networks, quantum computing, or whatever. He can afford all that. And this Bark app uses kind of like I believe, and I could implement that in the future if my app takes off, raises some funds, makes some money, and also make a more secure app where there's not just ID validation, but ID validation for veterans. Like here's a site, ID.me. That's ID validation for like it could be for government, veterans. This is one way, and there's also IDscan.net, I believe. So this is AI-powered agent identity verification technology. This can be implemented easily, and Facebook, yeah, it's like he hasn't thought of that. Like he's probably knows about it. He just doesn't care. He wants anyone in the world to join his platform so he can make as much money as possible, and so he could get his like a 100,000 square foot mansion, whatever he's got, 50,000, however big it is, underground bunker, so he could survive a nuclear war and try to repopulate the planet, whatever he thinks he's going to do after nuclear war. Yeah, he might survive, whatever. That's fine. He could do that. He has the money, but he wouldn't pay 5 or 10,000 for this AI age identity verification technology. So he doesn't care, and it would be nothing to him. And if you did, like for if because he's not going to do this, I feel it's my obligation and duty to do this. As a veteran trying to make a safer platform. If I add, this age and identity verification for kids, family, elders, any citizen, mothers, fathers, family members, whoever wants to join, this would ensure they're an American citizen. This would ensure that they're from the state they say they're in. They live in the United States, and they're not some Russian Chinese hacker, and obviously some malicious actors can join, right? But as you see, this is AI powered, right? So there's also other algorithms out there that are AI powered, such as once you implement AI, like this Bark app, right? You can implement this also in a social media app where it basically scans for keywords. Someone's talking about drugs, someone's talking about like kids, or trying to meet up somewhere, or get your information, or violate policies. It can alert the admin, it can alert the family, it can alert a team, right? And that's what I think Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook and Instagram and even Twitter probably lacks. Like teams out there monitoring this stuff and basically, permanently banning, like blocking, and not just blocking and banning, but also alerting the authorities, alerting the cops. And if they have their ID, this guy, he's either a gang member, a predator, a sex predator that's learning kids, or a drug addict, or a drug cartel member, or a gang member that's trying to sell drugs. And not only do we have a record now, he's trying to do this or that, trying to sell drugs or learn a kid. And now we have a record that we could give to the police. Say, look, we got this from AI scanned technology and we recorded it. And, they signed up for this, so they signed up for it. We have this information. They should be arrested, send them to jail, send them to prison, whatever. Get them, if they have to, get them mental help or whatever, put them on medication, or send them to jail and prison where they belong, right? If they're trying to do stuff, they probably got away with stuff in the past. So, it's very important for to have ID validation. And I did some research on that. It just says like it's difficult, it takes up resources, but if you're determined and if you're making $100 billion a year from ad revenue, right? It's like he's probably selling crap, he's probably selling garbage that it doesn't really help people, and he just makes money, like maybe some stuff that whatever. I don't mess around on Facebook too much, but when I did used to use it, I wouldn't really learn much, right? I didn't learn anything too beneficial. I could have some social networking with families. I could do the same with email using the phone, right? Or meeting in person, right? You can use Zoom and stuff like that. I know they have FaceTime. They have good things where you could do fundraisers or whatever. So they've grown, they've done some things, but they lack insecurity and even compassion, and they don't really care. Mark Zuckerberg or his team don't like I said, they don't you know pay for the funerals of the children or the families who've lost their lives from drugs being sold on his platform. And and that's the sad thing about it. And that's the messed up thing about it, because he doesn't feel it's his duty. He doesn't feel like it's his obligation, but he also doesn't feel like it's his duty or obligation to uh, basically, I kind of lost my train of thought there, but he doesn't feel his duty or obligation to implement high security features, high robust security features. Sorry about that, kind of foggy, but if he can implement high security features, and in my background in cybersecurity, I've also learned that there could be testing done, right? Cybersecurity tests that where you have teams of specialists and experts write reports on where you lack security, right? And there's a lot of them out there, right? And I can list some. Uh, but that I don't want to go too deep into that, because whoever's watching this could use it in a negative way. But once you start doing tests, expert reports, and all that, if there are any gaps in security, you can increase security, right? You can add features, whether or not, like, obviously simple things or firewalls, antivirus. There's also things out there like AI, machine learning, to scan things and basically alert admins. You can have teams out there. You could be, have all this technology, quantum computing, right? That's the biggest thing. Quantum computing that they can afford. It's very expensive. It's very expensive, but it's the most advanced technology that we pretty much have today. And so back to all of this about, how much he's making, or drugs being sold. And, this is something I wanted to speak out on. I know the way I'm speaking can kind of rub people the wrong way. I might have cussed a few times here. I was in the military. I speak my mind. I'm very outspoken. I get it from my mother. Uh, and I've been like this, and this is just how I feel. I feel it's very important, to have this security and change things for the better. And like I said, if I said, boycott the cartel, yeah, they're going to get mad because they're not making money, but that's going to keep your family safe, your kids safe. And, like, I mean, people would do simple things like, back in the day, I think Rosa Parks wanted to boycott the bus system, right? Because they sent her to jail for not giving up her seat. And Rosa Parks, they I think it was her. They started boycotting the bus system, so they had to change things. So when people start, if people start boycotting drugs, I mean, they're gonna have to change the way they get people, I guess, feeling good, right? It has to be like other things, like partying, or drinking, cigarette. I know there's not too many ways I could think of, but it's just like, uh, it's difficult to come up with solutions for every single problem. And Elon Musk has said the same thing, right? That's why he's trying to make an interplanetary species, go to other planets, planet hop, and be an interstellar civilization, stuff like that. But solving into small problems, small sad problems, there's so many of them that, how can you safely help as many people as possible while you can? Well, if you had, $150 billion a year, you could solve a lot of issues. But, you know, people are going to do drugs. There's not going to be any stopping them. If they're a grown adult, and they don't want to learn, and they don't want to take care of their family, they don't want to watch their kids grow, they don't want to grow up to raise their kids, they don't want to raise their grandkids or be there in their elderly age, and be there to be a wise old man or wise old woman, and watch over their grandkids and teach them things about life that it took them a lifetime to learn, right? It took them 70, 80 years if they make it that far. And they could be bestowing, like, very sacred, critical knowledge to their grandkids. And people just don't think that far, that They want to, um, just survive, like not die from an overdose, basically, and so they could be there for their family. And so when every time someone does do a drug, every time, like whether they're a teenager, a young adult, or an older, like 50 years old or 40 years old or whatever, and when they do a drug, they just don't think, like, they're not thinking of the future. They're not thinking of tomorrow or a week or a year or 5 or 10 years from now, and where they're going to be, or how they can help their family. The only way to help your family in an older age is basically, to be as basically helpful, to be as competent, to be there. Because if something happens, right, you have to be a safe driver. You can't be driving intoxicated on drugs or alcohol. Otherwise, you could run over a baby, get in an accident, kill someone, kill whoever's in the car with you. That's how a lot of people die: texting, driving, doing stupid things, doing drugs, drinking. Obviously, that kills like 40,000 people a year, at least, drinking and driving. And they kill other people too, other families and kids. And I see car accidents a lot. And so, and making bad decisions, a lot of domestic violence, right? I could be like having all these windows open, but I didn't plan to say all this. But domestic violence, right? Domestic violence, people do drugs and drink. They beat up their wives, right? Men beating up their wives, and wives fighting back. I know a woman who's had to stab like 3 or 4 men that beat her up. She's been in like abusive relationships, and she got sent to jail and eventually the psych ward, right? The psych ward, because they felt sorry for her. They said she's bipolar, but she had marks on her. She had a chipped tooth and like a broken finger, and she stabbed up some guys, and she did it in self-defense, right? But she's a foster kid. She didn't have a family growing up, and she's just trying to survive and defend herself. And so people don't know how to treat each other right, especially when they're doing like, drinking and doing drugs. So, I'm just against it. I'm not saying I've never used anything, because, and I shouldn't admit to anything right now, but I'm just saying that all that stuff leads down a spiral of basically darkness and death, right? Just twisted, demonic thoughts and all this craziness, right? People do bad things. And sometimes, it can help someone if they're really messed up. Obviously, I think, but, for the most part, it's so dangerous, and you never know what you're getting, that you have to be really safe out there. Be smart, be competent, be strong, be stable, have a stable mind, be logical, know what you're doing, know what you're talking about, know what you want for your future, and get out there and make things happen, right? Have positive relationships, healthy, right? Healthy relationships. So, and these are things I wanted to speak on. Some of it might not be too related, but this is my personality. This is who I am. This is my background. This is what I'm trying to do. And I just want to try to improve society, right? Now, if I made this much, right? I've been on this page for a while. If I could, and I'll never make this much, because my app is exclusive to Americans, right? That's what I'm going to try to do. Add security, right? High robust security. So his revenue is this much because he lets anyone in the world join, like 4 billion people all over the world. That's why it's so predatory and drug infested and gang infested and all that. So if I make mine exclusive to Americans with ID validation, I might only get 1 million people, or maybe like 500,000 or 100,000 subscribers, right? I might not even make enough to really have a profitable company to help too much in society or the community, but I'm going to do my best. And if people, if more people subscribe, I could do much more to help society. I will do much more to improve security, and to make it just exclusive to Americans, instead of having all this craziness out there, like, having other countries that we're at war with on my platform, to basically be a playground for to put your kids in dangers. And that's what these platforms are doing these days. So I'm going to do my best with my background, get with my team and talk to my mentors, which I have lifetime support with the schools that I've graduated. And these people are smart. They know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about, and they could help me and make a very secure app, right? They can help me make things happen. They can help me make this secure, and do what I need to make a secure app that protects your kids with machine learning, artificial intelligence, who I have to go to. And the last thing I'll say, right, there's places out there, right? I learned of this one, Zico.com, right? Here's one. It can make apps, right? It's very expensive. It could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to make a good app. Custom software development experts. I'm not saying, look, I could code, but it would take me a long time. And if I obviously, I'm working on an app now. It's going to be available, and when it does come out, I have to make it. It's a minimum viable product, right? MVP. So once I generate revenue, I could develop a more comprehensive app with these experts, right? Development experts here in Austin, here in Texas. I could drive there, talk to them, have meetings, and do what I have to make the most secure, exclusive American app. With technology like artificial intelligence, machine learning, neural networks, quantum computing, probably not at first because it's so expensive, but in the future, hopefully it's not as expensive. But I'm going to implement as much technology as I can to make it secure for families, for veterans, for senior citizens, for American citizens. And if kids want to join, make it secure. And what I want to add is things like, holistic approaches to reduce your risk of dementia, Alzheimer's, tech schools for veterans, importance of monitoring your heart rate, cyber awareness videos, medical resources, veteran resources. This is my site, finding parks, to find solace, peace, get out there, get some fresh air, veteran resources, moderate exercise techniques, a couple websites that you could order vitamins from and herbs to be in optimal health, right? Uh, and also, meal planning for seniors, mental health apps. This is a big thing for mental health. There's so many apps out there that can help you, even AI chatbots and stuff like that, and places you could go to talk to therapists. And a lot of these apps, basically for kind of CBT report, CBT support, cognitive behavioral therapy support. So these are things that I want to implement in the platform, that instead of all that stuff you see on Facebook, Snapchat, people like it, that's great. People want to do drugs. Okay, what happens to them is their fault. But if in my app, I want to make it, this is more serious. This is serious. Life is serious. And you have to take things serious because, you know, there's a lot of craziness out there, and that I don't need to be a part of that myself, right? So, I just want basically like safe security, safety, health, positive things, nurturing positive relationships. And so this is going to be it for now. This was a longer recording that I anticipated, but it's almost 30 minutes. But hopefully that was relevant. Hopefully that helps some people. Hopefully that lets you know my background and what my plans are for this app and the future of this app, and really the future of this country, right? Because there's competitors out there. People that like things, people are used to things. But if I'm saying, look, uh, get off of Facebook. If you don't like it, right? If you like it, that's great. If you're safe with it, that's fine. But if you think we could develop, if you think as me, as a Marine veteran, that I could develop a more secure app with implementing AI, machine learning, deep neural networks, and also, things like, flooding it with this Bark app, and also, implementing this ID validation over here with IDscan.net, ID verification technology, or ID.me for government and military who want to sign up. So ID validation exclusive to Americans. ID validation will ensure that, and also machine learning, artificial intelligence at the minimum, right? So I apologize. Sometimes I lose my train of thought. I'm getting a little old these days, but I do appreciate you sticking in this video as long as you have, if you have, and hopefully, I hope you got something out of this. I hope I'm, just giving you information that could be useful. And also, when this app does come out, hopefully very soon, I hope you sign up. Let some friends and family know, and hopefully give us feedback and let us know how we can improve. But I'm going to do my best to make it as secure as possible and exclusive to Americans. Thank you again, and have a good one.